We'll be taking you to the Ofankor area where the health center there, which has remained dormant for the past 2 years, was open to the public today.
Let's bring you details of our stories. And yam farmers at the Atebubu and Mantain in the Bonohafo region are worried over the low pricing of their produce. Now, farmers in the yam-rich area have been forced to reduce prices drastically in order to make ends meet due to a number of reasons.
CitiNews's Michael Sapon visited the Atebubu yam market and has come through with this report.
The Atebubu yam market is one of the biggest yam markets in the Bonohafo region. It receives averagely 700 farmers weekly. According to the farmers, they had a good harvest this year, but pricing has become a major problem. 100 tubers of yam, which was sold between 800 cedis to 1,000 cedis in 2017, are currently being sold between 70 cedis and 100 cedis. Some of the farmers spoke to City News.
For the price of yam for this year, I can see that it is low, too low. But when you look at the year past, which is 2016, so now it has changed. Previous ones was not like that, so we don't know why it is like that. For at first, so we can even get a tube from 2 cedi 50 pesos going to 3 cedi. By now, you get it 1 cedi. Right now, as we are here, you get it 1 cedi. And the government have ever told us that if it come in power, they'll be buying yam, 1 yam for 1 cedi. And it came true. So we are so much disappointed on that. It will not help us at all. The government should do something better for us.
Say no, by the buy atofo. Atofo no ma. I feel so tono enye. Seni esi to by the no. Nka besa afi baako. Na ye to chance as we say with the body be go ha ye nto nti ama sese no aduma no ye hu so aban me boy sese no say me fan say nko timi boy ye ma atofo no timi ba ana say bia yi what they say surprise bi ba na nko beto kwa yeso ye benye ska e dia hye aduma no ama aduma na ye kase.
Apart from this challenge, the yam market is also not in a good state, though each farmer pays 4 cedis per 100 tubers of yam to the Atebubu and Mantain Municipal Assembly. The place becomes muddy, especially during the rainy season, and makes accessibility to the place difficult. Wisdom Say Ngingma, the treasurer of the Peace Farmers Association, is calling on the Atebubu and Mantain Municipal Assembly to give the yam market a facelift.
Poor, I know the ground is not fine. These heavy trucks, when they enter, they can't be able to go out. They used to remain here, we suffer and then we get them out. So here is not fine. We need help. Governments will come and help so that we maintain the market. Or this is assembled, so do something about it.
Effort to speak to the municipal chief executive for the area, Edward Owusu, has been unsuccessful. Young farmers in Atebubu and Mantain municipality of the Bonohafo region are saying that harvest has been good, but pricing is a major challenge this year. According to them, selling their yams is becoming a challenge for them, and majority of them said they've gone in for loans and it's becoming a challenge for them to pay. Apart from this, the yam market in Atebubu here is in a bad state. The place is very muddy. And they are calling on the Atebubu and Mantain Municipal Assembly to do something about this. For City News, I am Michael Saponifum, reporting.
To some other stories, and for the past 2 years, residents in and around Ofankor have been praying on government to operationalize the abandoned Ofankor Health Center. Now, today, their prayers were answered with the opening of phase 1 of the facility. Now, the center, built with funding from the African Development Bank, has been wasting away due to lack of essential equipment. My colleague Ni Ama has more.
This is the first time the gates have been opened this wide since they were fitted in 2016. The hospital has been the center of controversy in recent times over its abandonment. But today, for the first time, its hallways are witnessing some activities. The acting medical superintendent of the facility, Dr. Victor Caesar, tells me that the center has already received its first patient.
Today is the first day. We've seen a couple. I have personally seen the first patient. Luckily, it happened to be a pregnant woman. So I'm sure with time, when people get to know and hear of the opening, they'll trickle in. It's going to make access to the facility easy for them. Previously, they either go to Amasama, West Municipal Hospital, or they go to Achimota or in Sawam. Now that we have Ganlot Municipal Hospital, which is Ofanko opened, it's going to cut short the journey they are going to undertake to access health services. So it's going to improve their access to healthcare services.
For now, only the first phase of the hospital is operational. This includes the outpatient department OPD, antenatal and postnatal care unit, pharmacy, emergency and eye care units. Dr. Caesar says there's still more to do to get the whole center functional.
We need more furnitures. There are some structural re-engineering we need to do, like I said earlier, to make the operation run smoothly. And so we need funds to do those things. This year, there has no been budget allocation for equipping this facility. We are hoping that, and I know there are plans in place to budget for tooling of the facility by next year. And so that's what we are praying for.
For residents in and around Ofankor, they could not hold their joy at the health center's opening.
It's fantastic because it's either you travel to Amasaman or you go to Achimota or any other. But since we are just around, it's good. It's very, very interesting and we are happy. We hope everything will be okay here.
Oh, we are very happy. We thank God and we thank the government. Oh, now when I'm sick, I don't have to travel to Amasaman. Just opposite here, then I'll be okay.
We are very happy this hospital has been open for us. Probably I'm a taxi driver, and most of the times we have been taking people, rushing people, far place to Isawum, Amasama. And maybe by the time you go to the place, it's not good when we are on the way going. But this one that has been open over here, because it will have a short distance of bringing people, taking good care in the community, helping people in the community. For those that we have been carrying long, far away, 37 Kolebu and so forth, it will bring the stress down a little.
Well, the wait is over, and phase 1 of the Ofankor Medical Center has finally been opened to the public. What this means is that residents here no longer have to travel all the way to Achimota or Amasaman just to access healthcare delivery. Reporting for City News from the Ofankor Medical Center here in Accra, my name is Ni Ama.
Now, Anumawobi is a developing community about 5 kilometers from the Kasua Township in the Central Region. It is a farming community with a population of over 1,250, but access to basic amenities of life, such as electricity, potable water, a school, a hospital, among other issues, have been a major challenge for locals for decades.
Residents living in the area are also battling with unavailability of electricity in some parts and a clean drinking water. They are sometimes forced to share the same drinking water with cows and other animals. Head pastor of the All Nation Assembly, Simon Toti, lamented the poor state of residents living in Anumawobi, adding that their inability to access good drinking water is a health risk.
Anumawobi is a developing area, and our problems here are many. We don't have roads, we don't have good drinking water, we don't have markets, we don't have schools, we don't have hospital. And the one that we need presently is water. Our water is very, very bad, very, very red. And even during the Hamatan season, we share the same water with cattle, and it is causing our children to fall sick. And anytime our children go to hospital, The doctors said that the water they are drinking is the cause of the problem. And we don't have schools. Our children have to travel far to the other villages to go to school. So we are pleading with the government, especially our president. He has promised that we should try him and see what he can do for us.
Ahinsam John, another resident of Awutu and Umaobi, reiterated the need for government to help them get access to good drinking water, a market, health center, a school, among others. A visit to the stream where residents access water points to a stressful situation where the only source of drinking water looked brownish and unhealthy. The stream gets dry during the Harmattan season, and residents are forced to travel miles just to get access to water. According to John Ahinsam, the situation is sometimes unbearable.
In fact, at Mobi, we have a big problem. First of all, our water, our electricity, our road, school, market, hospital. All this problem is causing us because now our children go to school from far place. Then we have problems. So we appeal to government so to come and see to our face.
Emmanuel Beidou, another resident, lamented the poor state of their road, which makes it difficult to convey pregnant women to the hospital when they are in labor. According to him, although Anumaobi is a developing community and some portions of the community enjoy electricity, majority of the residents still lack many basic things.
Anumaobi here, we have so many problems, plenty. We have problem with our light, our water, roads, network, everything. We have problem about schools. We don't have school. We don't have school here. We don't have water. The water we drink water with the cows, cattle. So it's not good for the government. We are calling to you, Nanado. We know you are the man for us. So we plead to you that come to us and come and help us. We beg you. We beg you.
Residents are making a passionate appeal to the government to, as a matter of urgency, attend to their plight.
Anumaobi. Residents here are complaining of basic necessities of life, such as electricity, water, among others. They have to depend on this water as their source of livelihood. They are, however, calling on government authorities to come to their aid. Reporting for City TV from Awutu and Umaobi in the Central Region, I am Calvis Tete.
Now, the Communications Ministry says it stands ready to grant tax waivers to local companies which can supply a minimum of 3 million cedis worth of equipment for the digital terrestrial television infrastructure. This is in direct response to the concerns raised by the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, GIBA, over tax waivers granted Chinese pay TV company Star Times. The association decries the But speaking on the City Breakfast Show, Sector Minister Esla Owusu Ekufo said the waivers are not discriminatory.
The Chinese government is giving us equipment to the tune of about $3 million for expansion of satellite TV to 300 communities in Ghana for free. As our counterpart support for this project, we have provided a tax waiver of 3 million cedis to support this project. Now, I'm willing to extend these same terms to any company which will provide the government and people of Ghana with these same facilities. So if First Digital is in a position to provide free terminal equipment to the tune of 3 million cedis, I will provide them with access to 300 communities at the blink of a hat and go to Parliament and seek a tax waiver of 3 million cedis for them. Nobody is giving anybody preferential market access just because they are a foreign company. But the government of Ghana accepted aid, China aid, to the tune of $3 million, which is going to provide 600 projector TVs widescreen, well, projectors, large screen projector TVs in 300 communities, 2 to each community, 300 television sets, and 6,000 decoders with 6 months free subscription to communities which had hitherto never had access to any of this opportunity from any company in this Ghana. It is an offer which the government of Ghana accepted and which I have the pleasure of overseeing its full implementation. The government of Ghana did not write into the contract at the time that they would give a tax waiver for KNET. We have agreed that we will reimburse KNET for all customs duties and charges that they have paid on the equipment that they have imported for this platform. That is what we are doing to support a Ghanaian company in this space to the limit of our capabilities. So it is not an exclusive right granted to foreign companies, as has been thrown out there over the weekend by people who probably ought to have known better. We are actively supporting KNET by reimbursing them for the custom duties and charges that they have already paid.
We stay with this story because the Office of the First Lady has refuted suggestions that the Rebecca Foundation's past association with Chinese firm Star Times has a bearing on its role in Ghana's digital terrestrial television network space. Now, the office clarified that it had no ties with Star Times since the company made a donation to the SOS Children's Village in 2017. According to the statement, Star Times only offered to provide football kits for the children because of the association with Ghana football. I've been joined in the studio by my colleague Suxtus Don Ulo to bring us more on this statement and other matters related to this story. Suxtus, welcome to City Newsroom.
Thank you, Vivian.
So the First Lady's name popped up with regards to this contract. What were the things that were raised about her foundation and herself?
You are right, her name popped up, and the foundation also popped up in the conversations that we have had in the past couple of weeks on this particular matter. And the suspicion largely has been that because she visited China and because of some interactions the president had with the president of Star Times Corporation, and also the donations that, as you rightly mentioned, Star Times made to the SOS Village through the foundation, that the First Lady's foundation was in bed with Star Times. That's largely has been the allegation. On this very network, on our current affairs show, the Tamale North MP, Alassane Soyine, in fact, clearly challenged the president to come out and exonerate himself, more to say, also exonerate the First Lady and the First Lady's foundation, because of these seeming coincidences, that if the president did not break his silence and make some clear pronouncements on the matter, it could be construed that there's some underhand dealings in the matter. So that's been the suspicion, largely from the members within the minority grouping. But today's statement from the First Lady's foundation, the Rebecca Foundation, largely sought to dissociate itself from all of those allegations, deny the allegation, and to put right that indeed they have no other dealings besides the dealings that we all saw on television, the donations that were made and all of. So if you look at the statement, it clearly says that Star Times has never been, and I'm reading exactly from that statement, at any time a partner of the foundation, as has been suggested. The foundation is, however, very grateful to Star Times for offering football kits to be donated through the foundation to the SOS Children's Village, where the First Lady is honored to be a patron. And the concluding part of that statement says that we wish to assure the general public that the Rebecca Foundation will continue to be guided by the strict principles of honesty, integrity, and transparency. So basically, the foundation is saying that no matter how you want to stretch this matter, the lines are clearly drawn. The relationship between Star Times Corporation and the Rebecca Foundation are clear-cut, and the donation that was made was to a specific goal, and that objective has been achieved. Now, as part of that trip that the First Lady went on, they agreed with Star Times for an exchange program. And as we speak, according to the office of the Rebecca Foundation, 15 children from the SOS are already in China, and 15 children from China are in Ghana on an exchange program, and this is expected to happen annually. So these are the things that, according to the foundation, this is the relationship that they struck with Star Times Corporation. It doesn't go beyond that, and there's nothing that the Star Times Corporation is using the foundation to gain from government or the administration of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Okay, thank you very much, Sixtus Don Olo, with that details of that statement. Let's move on to some other stories. And the Shamar District Chief Executive Joseph Amwa has distanced himself from accusations of being the cause of agitations and employment issues between the youth of Abuadze and Amandi Energy within the Abuadze Thermal Power Enclave. Speaking at a press conference he organized at Shamar, the DCE said the employment concerns started before he was appointed into office last year, hence cannot be blamed. Our Western Regional Correspondent Akwesi Ejeanim has more.
Agitation such as this by the people of Abuadze Aboisi has become a common scene over the last 2 months in the Shamar district. The youth are opposing alleged attempt by the DC of Shamar, Joseph Amwa, and the MP Atupam Fort to restructure Amandi Energy and the Abuadze Aboisi community's local content employment agreement. The two communities feel the DC's proposal is a breach of an earlier arrangement they claim to have had with Amandi Energy. They have therefore accused the DC of interference for his personal interest. But addressing a press conference, the Shamar DC, Joseph Amwa, distanced himself as the source of the employment problem.
Let me start by saying that the employment issues between the Abuadze youth and Amandi company existed before I took office, for the simple fact that Amandi started their project even before the new Patriotic Party came to power. Shortly after I took office, the agitations of the youth came to my attention, and looking at the strategic nature of the project to the state, and also the concerns being raised by the youth, and as chairman of the District Security Committee, I organized a stakeholders meeting involving the youth leadership, management of Amandi and their subcontractors, the chiefs, the assembly members of the adjoining communities, that is Aboisi, Abuadze, Lower Intraban, Upper Intraban, and Jomo.
The DCE further outlined how the youth of Abuadze objected to an earlier attempt to address the issue.
Considering the proximity of Abuadze and the surrounding communities to the project, and the negative impact should any occur to the inhabitants, it was agreed that there should be an internal arrangement in the form of a memorandum of understanding to be signed by the assembly members and chiefs of the community on one side and management of Amandi on the other, which should also be witnessed by the assembly. And this will guide future employment of qualified youth in the district into the company. It was further agreed that the MOU should state that in the event of distributing quotas to the communities, Abuadze, being the closest of the communities, will receive the highest share. This arrangement was, however, objected to by the assemblyman for Abuadze, Honorable K. Bedu, when we met the youth to explain the arrangement to them, and further asked the youth to reject same, insisting that he, the assemblyman, has a committee in place which should determine who should be employed by the company.
Meanwhile, the assembly member for Abuadze, Isaac Peaceful Bedu, in a response says there were no agitations until the interference of the DCE.
there wasn't any agitation before the DC came to office. It was when he resumes office and the company, after there are 1 or 2 visits, we got to know that the company had now shifting from what they discussed earlier. I could remember when the company took over, by then Honorable Recommend was the DCE. The MP was Honorable Gabriel Sivi. Even during the sword cutting, they made us aware that as for them, their office and the work, they would not want to get themselves involved because they know that over the years, it is the assemblymen and the Nananom in the area, they want to respect the local authorities. So they didn't get themselves involved. Until this government took over, when the DC and MP visited the company and they tried to convince them to work in the way that they want. And I also want to state it clearly that the company has not engaged. If there are factors, then they've engaged almost 500 and plus people from Abuadi community. If we have Abuadi community youth, 500 working, why this noise? You will not make this noise.
The DC of Shama is very much confident that his hard work over the last 1.5 years will actually speak for him. Hence, any calls or agitations for his sacking will not materialize. For City News, I am Akwesi Ejenim, Shama.
You're still watching the City Newsroom on City TV. I am Umaru Sandamadu here with
Vivian Kai Loco.
Now, when we come back, tanker drivers have called off via strike following a meeting with the National Petroleum Authority (NPA).
Quero ver todo mundo balançando. Ninguém pode ficar parado. É só loucura. Mexe.
Witness the twisted and tangled story of betrayal, greed, vengeance, and love in the award-winning Brazil Avenue. Carminia, a woman led by greed, gets rid of her husband, who is Rita's father, and sends Rita away to a filthy landfill. Rita finds love in Batata, but they are soon separated by adoption into different families, far away from each other. Many years later, all paths cross again, as Rita, now a renowned chef, seeks to pay back her stepmother for taking away her happiness as a child. It's a story of twists, turns, suspense, and thrilling action in Brazil Avenue. Brazil Avenue, coming soon only on City TV. Brazil Avenue.
Good evening, this is The Point of View. We're live on City TV.
Tune in to The Point of View, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. as Bernard Avlet takes the news further. He will bring the right guests, ask them the relevant questions, and get you the real insights you need on the big stories for the day.
We need taxes to run the economy. How do you do it sensibly and have the least pernicious effect in terms of cascading through the economy? And I think that is the thinking that is required. It's not a denial that we need taxes, you know, and I think that that is the difference in the two administrations.
The Point of View with Bernard Avlet, Monday and Wednesday nights, only on City TV.
You're welcome back. Now, tricycle taxis, popularly called Pragia, have taken over the Bono-Ahafo region as a preferred means of commercial transport. City Newsroom's Michael Sapon-Fum takes a look at the tricycle business, which is disrupting traditional commercial transport businesses across the country.
Tricycle, popularly called Pragia in the Bono-Ahafo region, is gradually becoming a major source of transportation for most residents. The patronage for the tricycle is on the increase in towns such as Brekum, Nkranza, Kintampo, Wenchi, and a host of other communities in the Bron-Ahafo region. Drivers of these tricycles are calling for the legalization of the business. One of said persons is Bismarck Owusu, who plies his business at Wemfie in the Doma East District.
Every day, even when the job go very well, there I can make it 85 and then 90. By sometimes lowest, to me the lowest is 60. A day 60. The government should help us to this work to develop. The government should help us.
Frank Edukumi is also a popular tricycle driver in Dwaya and Kwanta.
Praga business there, it be good. It be good, but right now the job is not correct because of the motor is plenty. The motor is plenty, so if you have the motor, you run the petrol conveyance now, not be easy because of if you fill your tank, you fill the motor 450. So if you use if you don't get motor, you get 100 Ghana. But the motor is plenty, so if you fill that you run this motor no, you not pack, you run to get person. But the motor is plenty, so you run you don't get person. The petrol is run.
Communities are also calling for its legalization in the country. According to them, the fare charge is affordable.
Yeah, I've benefited so much. For now, even in Nkranza, and it's common there. It makes movement very fast. Especially when I came to write exams here, my licensing exams. And for the movements, as friends moving around here and there, we have not been taking taxis. Praga, we are using it for the movement. And the price too they take is very minimum. Yeah, so it's good for us, and it's good for the people around here too.
It's good, because I've observed that with the Praga youth has come to, cut off the number of unemployment youth in the system. And also when we're inside Praga, you see that it's open. So whenever anything is going on, people can see and then come to your rescue. So I think Praga has a very good impact in the society.
Praga by any day, because the Praga nima and taxi fare no town or more mobile town service in Libya and price and about cost say no Praga buy any ama price and number for Mukakra. Enti for him now,
Eric Osei, a marketing executive at Sumoko Ghana Limited, distributors of Praga in the Bron-Ahafo region, says business has been good since the opening of the company in Sunyani.
If you compare with the taxis, they normally patronize the kunkum than the taxi because the price of a person is 1 cedi. But if you compare it with a taxi, it's 1 cedi 80 pesos. So due to the price increase of fuel, people normally patronize our goods as compared to the taxi. And we are even trying to open another branch at Goso, Bekum, Sampa, and then Atebubu. But we have even opened almost 10 branches in Bron-Ahafo here. Techimai, Wenchi, and Soko, then the other part of Bron-Ahafo. So now I can boldly tell you that the Praga is encouraging in Bron-Ahafo here.
The youth in the Bron-Ahafo region who are engaging Praga business are calling on government to legalize the Praga transport because it has come to stay. It has created jobs for them. For City News, I am Michael Saponifum.
Now, 6 financial agreement and a tax waiver amounting to $236 million have been tabled before Parliament for possible approval before the House rises on Friday. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta presented 4 of these agreements to the House today.
The projects captured for these agreements are $40 million tourism development project from the IDA of the World Bank, $50 million Ghana Commercial Agric project from the World Bank, $2 million tax waiver for the construction of an advanced research center into infectious diseases at Nogochi, Legon, 1.6 billion yen, that is $14.4 million agreement for the construction of the said center, and 2 other projects valued at $130 million. There is more in the following report.
Proceedings for the first day of the emergency sitting of Parliament began with the referral of some new appointees announced in the cabinet reshuffle to the Appointments Committee for vetting. Here is Speaker Professor Michael Kwe.
Honorable Evans Opoku Obie, MP, currently Deputy Minister for Bron
I have full region. For the position of Minister for Brown, I have full region. Honorable Martin Uti Jako, MP, Deputy Minister for Brown, I have full region. 6. Mr. Samuel Nuete Ayeti.
The Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, presented 4 out of 6 financial agreements totaling some $236 million to the House. Ken Ofori-Atta spoke to the media on the relevance of these new financial arrangements.
There's a supplier's credit of equipment from Brazil for agriculture. And that's an interesting one because I think it started somewhere in 2015 in which the first tranche of $30 million or so was given. And then this is the balance that we are doing. It sounds to me like there's a little bit of a problem because we don't see a parliamentary approval for the first tranche that was done. So that also needs to be corrected. Oh, we really do, because I don't think there's anything really mysterious about all of these things that we are doing. So I expect that to go. I think we have another one, which is the Minerals Income Investment Fund, which is really very interesting. It's looking at the royalties and looking how you can create a holding company to hold these royalties so that you can raise income, based on that. And that, I guess, will be maybe tabled, for consideration, the consideration stage for tomorrow.
On the controversial Star Times DTT tussle, the minority is contemplating hauling Communications Minister Esla Osu-Ekufo onto the floor of the House. But first, they would explore the opportunity of resolving issues at the Communications Committee of Parliament. Ahmed Ibrahim is the first Deputy Minority Chief Whip.
Maybe, who knows, maybe when both sides meet, the ministry together with the committee meet, there will be an understanding that what each side is perceiving to be wrong are not wrong. Who knows? So until we get there, it will be wrong for me to tell you that when we meet, we'll still have to come to Parliament. But it is only when we meet and it happens that certain things are not right, it is then that we have to proceed to the floor of Parliament. But until that meeting is done, you cannot say I'm bringing this person. I think that's the first thing to be done.
So Parliament is back from recess for a brief period, for about 5 days, as part of an emergency sitting to consider some critical matters of state. Today, critical referrals have been made to the Appointments Committee of Parliament to look at some 4 new appointments, some of them who have been elevated from deputy ministerial positions to substantive positions, and others who are new people who have been appointed into ministerial positions who are supposed to be vetted by the Appointments Committee per the dictates of the Constitution and the standing orders of Parliament. Again, some 4 financial agreements have also been laid before the House. 4 more days, Parliament would consider some of these critical issues, and then on Friday, they would rise up until the 30th of October, when they will come back fully for the 3rd meeting of this session. For City News from Parliament, I am Duke Menso Opoku.
Now, what started as a sit-down strike by the Association of Tanker Drivers, numbering about 500 this morning, ended up in chaos after a confrontation with the police service. Now, the tanker drivers were embarking on a sit-down strike to impress on the NPA and the employers to honor a memorandum of understanding signed in July last year. Midway through their strike, a misunderstanding ensued between them and the police. City News Tema correspondent Elvis Washington has more.
The tanker drivers were protesting over poor salaries, welfare issues, and issues of shortages at BOST. To them, a long-standing MOU between them and the NPA and their owners has been lying on the table without any attempts of implementation. However, this morning, instead of loading their tankers, the drivers vowed not to work until their grievances were addressed. They marched up in their numbers at the car park of the Tema Oil Refinery.
We are fighting for our rights. It's like the Energy Commission and the MPA, they are deceiving us. When they come here and tell us something, they will go and tell the county different thing. They will go and tell the county different thing. Then the counties too, they tell us different thing. At the end of the day, when we work finish, maybe our salary is not coming. MPA let you know that when you are going journey, they have some package for you. Whether you are going, they have to give it to you. That one it's not coming. Sometimes you go and sleep inside your car, your body will pain you, but you still drive and come. Our salary. 2, underground shortage. 3, MPA should come here and come and tell us what they tell the car owners.
Soon, the peaceful protest will turn chaotic. The police was invited to ensure order, started firing tear gas to disperse the crowd, whilst others fled for their lives. Some were hit by stray bullets. In the end, 3 people were arrested with offenses including inciting the crowd and pelting stones at the police.
We came in to maintain peace and order. Hold on. This facility is a very important asset. And as the rioters or the protesters decide to get closer to the facility, then there was the need for us to push them back or knock them out. That's why we have to fire tear gas to disperse them. So far, we have arrested 3 people. We are not going to leave the place until everything has calmed down. It's our mandate to protect life and property. And that is exactly what we are doing here. Importantly, we will protect the facility and we will make sure nobody gets there. So we will remain here until everything is over.
The chairman of the Tanker Drivers Association, George Teinyawunu, sounded furious over the action of the police and had a brief word for the NPA.
The government will appoint people to come and harass us. Is that the way of Is that the way to calm down people? Is that the way, if you want the people to calm down, is that the way we calm them down? We are all tanker drivers, all right? And this thing is affecting all of us. You know, the truth of the matter is NPA engineers some people. All right, I can tell you clearly, they engineer some people to form union against us. So that anytime we go for strike, you understand, they will cut out. And that is exactly what the police do.
What looks like a demonstration is actually not a demonstration, but a sit-down strike by tanker drivers. To them, there is a memorandum of understanding that has to be implemented by the NPA and the tanker drivers or tanker owners. But this memorandum of understanding to the drivers have not been adhered to, hence their action today. They are only calling on the NPA and then tanker owners to implement this very MOU, which seeks to address the basic challenges that drivers are being faced with. For City News, Elvis Washington reporting from the Tema Oil Refinery.
Now, CitiNews' observation at some oil marketing companies earlier today revealed that the companies were barely affected by the strike. For most of them, they had enough story to last for the duration of the strike. However, in an interview, CitiNews Chief Operating Officer of the Allied Oil Company Limited, Enoch Asamoah-J, emphasized with the drivers on their plight.
We have pretty good stock, but a look at the situation this morning shows that it can take us as far as Wednesday throughout our network. They can take us to about Wednesday. The only challenge we are expecting is when other stations run out, the pressure will be moved to the few stations beyond even today. As an industry, we've depended a lot on the bulk road vehicles. Even with the bus system and all other interventions we have, bulk road vehicles are highly needed in this our industry. Their action will be felt immediately. So for me, I wish we don't go beyond today. You believe with me that safety is key in everything we do. And we've had a few incidents in the past that the Association of Oil Marketing Companies is doing all in our best to move in the right direction when it comes to safety. So safety concerns harbored by drivers of bulk road vehicles is a major thing that must be dealt with. These companies who operate the bulk road are pretty independent of the oil marketing companies. They are mostly service providers to us, and we in turn have plans to meet with the managers of these companies to see how best these things can be ironed out as early as possible. Safety is very important, and if drivers have concerns about safety, salaries and wages and other small problems here and there, we believe that the earlier these things are addressed, the better it will be for everybody.
Now, the umbrella body of all petrochemical transport workers, the General Transport, Petroleum and Chemical Union, has called off the strike effective today. This decision was taken after a stakeholder meeting with the National Petroleum Authority.
Present at the meeting were leaders of the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, Petroleum Workers Union of the TUC, Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union, Tanker Owners Union, Bus Drivers Union, and Girl Drivers Union. According to General Secretary of the General Transport, Petroleum and Chemical Union, Fusaina Idrisu, the union is satisfied with the steps taken so far to address their concerns.
Those shortages that our drivers suffer at the loading points should be addressed. And I think that we are satisfied with the steps that are taken to address. I think the problem we actually came to realize is that the parties involved, the OMCs, the transport owners, as well as the drivers, I think there's some level of misunderstanding there. So you go there, and when you are trying to challenge some of these things, the pressure will be on you as a driver to quickly offload and go and go. So because of that, our members have not been able to stand the test of the challenges, the difficulties that we face at those stations.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive of the National Petroleum Authority, Hassan Tampuli, entreated all stakeholders to fully adhere to the dictates of its oil laws manual.
And the final notes, the MOU that was agreed among the parties is one that is going to see some revisitation. The parties have identified some latent flaws in the agreement, and the understanding is that we'll give ourselves 1 week where we'll go back and then renegotiate the terms of those MOU. We'll communicate to the general public in due course. So basically, these are the points that this meeting has been able to do.
You're still watching the City Newsroom. My name is Vivian Kailoko. Tonight I'm here with
Umaru Sanda Amadu.
Ahead on City Newsroom, hundreds of senior high students yet to be placed on the computerized school selection and placement system 3 weeks into the start of the academic year. Don't go away.
Tune in to The Point of View, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. as Bernard Avlet takes the news further. He will bring the right guest, ask them the relevant questions, and get you the real insights you need on the big stories for the day.
I said, property tax, I will pay. If you come to my house, I'll cut you a check. Bernard, when did I do my presentation? February?
Yes.
Or February, yes, sometime. Nobody has come to my house.
Really?
Ghana is broke. And, that's the reality we must all come to live with.
The Point of View with Bernard Avlet, Monday and Wednesday nights, only on City TV.
into the Breakfast Daily on City TV. Stoneboy says so. Keep it locked. Don't log off.
We spice up your mornings with culturally enriched conversations, social interviews, and policy-oriented discussions that will keep you updated on the progress of the nation.
And that is the reason I was making the point to him that I refrained from responding to this Joyce Bauer statement. Because if some citizens have accused President Mahama of diverting a certain amount of money, deal with that, deny him, and move on with your life.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Let your voice be heard with the hashtag Breakfast Daily. Join us for breakfast daily, only on City TV.
Welcome back to the City Newsroom. My name is Zivan Kai-Loko. Tonight I'm here with
Umaru Sanda Amadou.
Now, there was confusion at the Ghana Education Service Complaints and Solutions Center set up at the Independence Square in Accra this morning as frustrated parents and guardians struggled to rectify problems with the posting of the awards into senior high schools.
3 weeks into the start of the academic year, some high school students are still having challenges with the computerized school selection and placement system. There is a report by City News' Nashika Caesar.
Parents join long, winding queues at the Independence Square in Accra. In their numbers, they have converged here to ensure that the awards are placed. Parent after parent, everyone here is encountering one problem or the other.
I came here to change my status, a status for my brother. They gave him the instead of board, he has been placed at Peki Technical Senior High. So I'm here to do the change. But when I came, according to people who are here from last week said, if you want to change the school from a day to a boarding house, it's not possible. But I'm waiting to go there and verify the truth myself.
So I went to the school to check if the head knew something about it. They later realized that there is nothing he can do to assist. So I have to come to Independence Square to do change of school to a nearby school closer to my home. That would be easier for me. So 3 weeks ago I came and did the same. And the twin brother had a very serious issue in hand. Anytime when it's one subject pending, the social. So thank God later on I got it.
It's been weeks since the exercise started. It's been plagued with challenges, and for most of them here, they want a solution. Reporting for City News, I am Nashika Caesar.
Well, that's it for today's edition of City Newsroom. Visit citynewsroom.com for more news. My name is Vivian Kai Loko.
And I am Umaru Sanda Amadou. Thank you for watching.